Welcome to the Pull the Chute podcast with Jeff and Jana. This is our weekly venture into the world of small to medium-sized businesses and the entrepreneurial spirit that drives success.
So our goal here is to help you grow and to be the best you can be, both in business and personally. To do that, we identify and we discuss topics that will hopefully help you as you work to build a successful business.
We also interview business owners and executives. It's our hope that you may be able to gain insight on ways to help you be a better leader and provide a better culture for your people.
Our mission here is to help you pull the chute once a week to work on your business instead of always working in your business.
So we hope you find these discussions insightful, helpful, and useful.
And thanks for your support. We hope you enjoy today's podcast.
Well, welcome everyone to the Pull the Chute podcast with Jeff and Jana. We hope that you're doing well. We are having fun right now today. Hey, Jana, how are you today?
I'm good. It's a little gloomy, but we're at least moving into spring.
We are. The weather here in Nashville has actually been wonderful, pretty wonderful this week after the couple of weeks we had with, we actually in Nashville broke a record. We got 8 inches of snow in one day when we normally get 4.5 inches of snow for the whole season.
Yeah.
So that was a little crazy around here. And of course, the whole city shuts down. So, but no, we are definitely enjoying the temperatures and all the fun things that come with that, the yard work and the household updates and all the fun stuff. So looking forward to it. So, hey, Jim, we have a return guest today, Ariane Lalakea. I said that wrong, Lalakea. There we go. She's back with us, and I'm so excited to have her back. She reached out and wanted to be back on the show because she enjoyed the show so much, and we'd love to have people come back for her. So we're excited to have her.
Yes, we are.
So, Ariane, thank you for being here.
Yay, thank you for having me here again. I'm very happy and honored to be back on the show. Thank you.
That's good. So, Ariane, for our listeners, do me a favor, just remind them, because you do a much better job than I would of explaining your whole process of how you coach different people and the uniqueness by which you do that.
Yeah, thank you. So I help entrepreneurs and leaders to connect deeper to their body and to their life force energy, also known as our sexual energy, and use this asset that we're having in our body as a navigator for having the success and the capacity that we needed to be in a leading position, such as a business owner or as a CEO. Or any other C-level manager. And my approach to how I'm doing that is called leading with head, heart, and sexual energy. Before was more talking into the womb space, I think the last time.
Yep.
However, I opened it up now more to like really sexual energy, as I've had a lot of men reaching out to me, being also curious about this kind of work. And I think we talked into this, that men also have cycles, that there's also some sort of like womb energy as in creation energy, also in the man body. So I decided to, for simplicity reasons, to let go a little bit of this word womb and refer more to the life force energy, the energy that is seated at our base, that is the energy of creation and the energy of vitality. Yeah. So it's more about self-leadership, I would say, what I'm helping people with. But of course, from there, this affects the way how we're leading our teams, how we're leading businesses, how we're showing up. So it has like a ripple effect, and it all starts with the engineering of our internal world.
Wow, I love that. I love that so much. And by the way, I want our listeners to know that Ariane is calling in from the Netherlands today. So
yes,
we're excited about that, we've gone international, and that happened several months ago. We've talked about it a couple of times, but just the fact that you're calling back in is so amazing to us. And thank you for doing that. We really appreciate that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what that all means. So you've changed it from womb to just sexual energy, and how does that translate into more success? Talk to me about that.
All right. So that's a wonderful question. How does sexual energy translate into success?
That's what you're telling us. Right? You're talking about
of course. Yeah.
Connecting with it, like getting connected to it, right, Ariane? Yeah, like getting connected.
Exactly.
You can use it.
Exactly. Getting connected to it and getting like using it. So when our life force energy is flowing, this means our system is regulated. When we have a dysregulated system, then there is not so much energy that can be flowing. So when we want to step up into being more successful, success is like some sort of vibration, right? So you want to make your body ready for holding that vibration of success, that responsibility that comes with it. So on one point, this means to really ground yourself in your body. So you have the capacity to feel safe within yourself first. When people start working with me, they are having usually a lot of responsibility and there's a lot of weight weighing on their shoulders. So it's like, okay, how can I learn to manage my system so there can be more life force energy flow through my system and I can have more capacity from within to hold all of that. Many people that I work with, they're suffering from sleepless nights. They're having a hard time to falling asleep. They're grinding their teeth during sleep, for example. And all of this is like some is a signal that there is not that our life force energy is not flowing through roughly. Our system is at this ease, right? It's like this and ease. So it's like, okay, what can we do to have more ease and more capacity? And from there, naturally, holding more success comes much more easier. It's not to the cost of my health. It's success with my body, with a regulated system. So I call it also sustainable success, right? So it's not doing until we're burned out, but really using our body, learning how to master its energy. And this is that's with simple biohacks, like learning about our nervous system, learning about our life force energy, our sexual energy, and learning how we can move that and we can access that. It's like simple productivity hacks, like having a break every 50 minutes, going off screen, shaking your body, doing some deep breathing. There's a lot of different tools and practices that we can use so we can open ourselves up to hold the success that we want to have sustainably.
That's good. So does it have a lot, Ariane, to do with diet, exercise, breathing, mental work? It's all of this stuff, correct? But are you concentrating more on the mental, like getting really in touch with not only your, the physical health and all of that, but also the mental health and some of these techniques like meditation and understanding your body cycles and that kind of stuff. Talk a little bit more about, because we all know about, of course, the diet, exercise, getting sleep, all of that. Taking breaks, especially once the pandemic hit, everybody kind of learned how to take breaks instead of sitting at their desk all day, at home, that kind of stuff. Talk to us about the mental aspect of it, like what kind of work you do there.
So especially when it comes to like success, there is a lot of shadow aspects, as we call it, coming up with success. We have different parts within ourselves. So there is for sure, for what I see, always a part that is like so scared of failing. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, how can I get in touch with this part of failure? And how can I determine the needs of this part so I can work through that? And this part is not sabotaging me at some moment when I'm climbing up the ladder of success. Or, for example, this idea that I'm an imposter, I'm not worthy of the success that I'm about to get, right? So this is the work that we're doing on a mindset level, really working through these shadow aspects that come up, or ideas of I'm not good enough, which is a little bit like imposter syndrome, but more anchored in worthiness, in worth issues than in self-esteem issues, which goes more into the imposter syndrome. And when we connect to our body, when we really like start using our body, and with this, of course, I'm talking about meditation, but I'm also talking about explicit practices from ancient tantric philosophies that are helping us to really use, like, get in touch, get this energy flowing. So with this, we're meeting all of these shadow aspects, like diving into our this work is naturally bringing up the shadow aspects. Going into wanting to have more success is naturally bringing up the shadow aspects. And of course, I can bypass them, which is a very common thing I think that I see in our world. Is like, oh yeah, fear, breathe it through, or I'm not leaning into that. Yet at some moment, it's gonna weigh even heavier on my shoulders, and people start to be really having sleepless nights, anxiousness, panic attacks, all of these things, because there's some things that wants to be seen and wants to be felt and wants to be heard and wants to be processed, so we can be whole. And it's not just one part that is forcing up the ladder of visibility, of wealth and all of that things. It's like really all parts of me that are on board with that, so I can hold that. Because many times we see that people are wanting to achieve that, then 5 years they are into the game and then they're burnt out, or
Yeah.
they cannot hold this any longer. So it's about learning how to really work through that, and bring also the mind, of course, but always with this idea of working working through the body on the mind, because mindset work can bring us only thus far. I think many people can relate to that they are like very aware of their patterns that they're having. It's very beautiful that we're very aware, but still we keep on looping in the same patterns, even though we're very aware about it, right?
Right. So how do you break those patterns? Like, in other words, to give us 3 examples of what you put someone through, let's say, that is burnt out, that is kind of stuck physically, mentally, whatever. Like, give Jeff and I 3 examples, and our listeners 3 examples of what kind of work you do.
So it's about, okay. I'm like, wow, 3 examples. There's so many things in my head. Let me get this.
Would it help to kind of put us through one of those things? Like, do you want to do an example of what it might be like? Would that help you?
I would love to do an example later, but for now I would like to really like more on a mental level explain it, so then we can go later into a more practical level. Thank you for opening the space. Exactly. So it's about like moving things moving things through our body, right? So what is it when we're stuck? Stuckness is energy that cannot move anymore, and it's like usually somewhere in our system. So what we're doing is we're gonna release this stuckness in the body. One of the most prominent tools from embodied leadership is shaking, for example, to really shake it out. People who are usually like suffering from imposter, they are insecure. You can see that in their body posture. So it's also like getting really aware of my body posture and shifting this body posture, and at the same time getting really intimate with my nervous system, with my body. What is my body communicating? That is there a contraction? Is there an opening? And when there is a contraction, how can I work through that so I can make more space in my system?
So shaking is an example for that one.
Shaking is an example. Another example would be Kegel exercises, for example. This is like a clenching and the holding of your pelvic floor muscles, which is like where we can start to get really in touch with this sexual energy that is within us, and we can bring that into a flow, so we can start to do that. So this is another example of tools that I'm providing. But it's always, as I said in the beginning, my approach is leading with head, heart, and sexual energy. So there's always a combination of the mindset, of the mental aspect, because awareness is very much needed to make the other things happen. Where it's very, and then there is this ability like to drop into our heart and into our nervous system, and from there also learning to connect to our sexual energy and have that flow. Yeah. So
pelvic work, which is breathing as well. Yeah.
Everything is also connected to breathing, like breathing, sounding, moving. Like we want to have our system in flow, right?
Mhm.
So all of these like emotional mastery tools are part of that. It's like, okay, how can I as many people, they're either not in touch with their emotions because they're very afraid of it, or they're only allowing so-called positive emotions. But how can I really, when I'm angry, like release that anger instead of pushing that anger down and either bypassing it or like acting out on it in an unconscious or toxic way. It's like really like, okay, I make space for expressing my emotions, so I have things flow in my system without suppressing them. Fear is another one. Okay, how can I move my fear? How can I like really work through that? And the one of the modalities is this approach of feel it to heal it. So you feel through it so you can heal it, and you work with your body to release it, because unconscious patterns usually reside from some childhood imprints, and this information is stored in our body. And then we want to really like learn to move these things in the body so we can shift the way how we are seeing or feeling about things. Yeah. Is this clear now?
No,
Yeah.
that's good. So it has to do with three elements: your mind, your heart, which is nervous system, and then this sexual energy or the pelvic area where we cycle and we hold. We all know we all have cycles in our lives. Women, it's more obvious with women, obviously, because we're the birthing species. You know what I mean? We're the sex that births. So it's more prevalent, but males have it too, as we know, especially as we age. The males have, drops in testosterone and all that. So you're taking these three areas of the body and you're getting them all in sync. So you're doing that through exercises, through breathing, and like you say, the shaking. So take us through one of those. Take us through one of those exercises, if you would, Ariane, so we know and our listeners know, like a little bit of how you tap into this, the actual physical connecting to the mental.
Yes,
Can you do that
beautiful.
quickly? I mean, can you
Yes.
kind of have us do it?
Yes, I would love to guide it. It will take about, let's say, 6 minutes ish.
Okay.
Is
got that.
okay?
We
Yeah.
got that.
Do it.
Okay.
Listeners,
So,
are you ready?
Yeah.
Be careful if you're driving.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Exactly. Be careful when
That's
you're
our
driving.
disclaimer. If you're driving, please don't do this.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, very much so. Okay, so the exercise that I'm proposing has three parts to it. The first thing is shaking. So we're gonna, for 1.5 minutes, shake our body and really open our system. Then we're gonna wait for it. We're not starting.
Oh,
I
okay.
want to explain so everybody knows what we're gonna get into. Then we're gonna sit down and we're gonna connect with where we want to go with our vision. We're going to feel it and so on. So you're going to mentally connect with your vision. And then once we're mentally really connected with that vision, we're going to bring that vision into a body with a movement. Okay?
Okay.
So this is the process. All right. So let's get going with the first part. If you can, please stand up and start to shake your body. Really like shaking, 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 lighting your shoulders.
All right.
Of
For our
course, my
listeners,
Breathing
dog is
deep.
going crazy right now because my dog thinks it's all out him. I
Take
know.
your hands. Ooh, really shake your body. Yes, very good. Letting your jaws drop, having some deep breaths as you're shaking. Really shake, 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 shake it. We're gonna go for another half minute with this. Really like, you can also let out some sound.
Woo!
Yes, exactly. Shake, 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 shake it. So we get everything into some flow in our system, releasing everything that has happened today.
I can buy into this. This is good. It's releasing stuff.
Oh, it kind of really does feel good. Like you really do feel like you're releasing energy.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, wonderful. Very good. So we continue a little bit more, another 10 seconds. If you want, you can accelerate your shaking. Go all in. And slowly We're gonna come into stillness. Just take a moment to feel your body as intimately as possible.
All right.
We're gonna feel into the heart space. I invite you to take a deep breath into your heart and exhale with some sound. Another breath into the heart space. Exhaling with some sound. And we're gonna breathe all the way down into the pelvic floor, through the belly, all the way down into the roots. And exhaling from there. Another deep breath into the pelvic floor. And as you're standing there, I invite you in front of your inner eye to journey with me into 5 years from today. What is the direction that you're taking? What are you seeing? What is the vision that is there in that future self of yours? What can you see? In your mind, if you think about the vision that you're bringing forth in 5 years from now. Maybe there's some sort of feeling, some emotion to it, and feel that. Maybe there's some sort of taste or smell, or maybe you hear something. Where do you envision yourself in 5 years from now? What is your surrounding looking like? And if you can, formulate this vision of yours in a simple sentence. What is your vision? 3 words, 5 words, keep it simple. Don't think about it too much. Make it easy, just fast. Formulate something that is here now. And if you cannot formulate it, bring it into a sentence. It's totally okay. Then stay with this picture or with that feeling that you're having. And we're gonna breathe in, breathe out through the mouth. And on your next inhale, you recall that sentence, recall that feeling, recall that surrounding, and you see how does your body wants to move when you're connected to this vision of the earth. And give this movement a space on your exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. Find that movement that describes this vision, this feeling, where you're heading. And keep on repeating this movement with your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. If you have a sentence, then you can repeat that sentence on your exhale with that posture, with that movement. Keep on repeating that and feeling it. Yes, the power that is coming, the success that is there, the people that you're touching. Breathing in and out with your movement, anchoring this movement with the feeling, with the smell, with the taste of this future self. And 3 more times, repeating this movement of the vision that you're holding. And coming into stillness, letting it go. And if you want, you can write it down, take a moment, or repeat that movement in front of your inner eye. And coming back into our podcast. So you know that wherever you are, you can make this movement that is connecting you to the vision that you're holding, to the feeling that you're having, in the direction that you're heading. And you help yourself to really bring that vision into aliveness, but also into shifting your state of nervous system. So this is like one of the tools that I'm working with. Yeah, called embodied vision. So thank you.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. We've that's a first for us on the podcast.
Yes.
Meditation and reaching and embodied vision. I love that. And boy, that was really interesting. The shaking kind of lets
Yes.
you go. I think that was a great way to start.
It is a great way. And the deep breathing is so much what we talk about in centering the body too. I know you talk about that, Ariane, in vision work. I talk about it in communication work when you're so freaked out in your brain, if you have to speak or if you have to do something, you know what I mean, where a lot of people are involved looking at you, if you're giving a speech or you're leading a big meeting, or even in leadership with one-on-one, this whole idea of breathing down into your body where you feel like your body's like the trunk of a tree. I talk about that a lot. That deep breathing is so important because, you know, we don't breathe very deeply in general.
Yeah.
So it's great to kind of say it gets your brain going.
Yeah.
It gets your brain going, of course. And for me, like my embodied vision, like I do it in a break, right? It helps me so much also to zoom out a little bit and have this meta perspective, because so many times a lot of our problems come because we're too attached in that moment.
Right.
So it's like a really nice way to break out and move on that meta level and like get a new perspective, wear new classes, have your system reset that, as you said, like really nourish yourself with the breath. And
Yes.
through that shaking, through that breathing, like our life force energy is naturally flowing, and we have naturally more capacity through things like that to hold the success that we want to have, to hold the difficult conversations or negotiations or anything.
Yeah, that's great.
Love it, love it, love it. Ariane, thank you so much for being back on the show. We really appreciate it. And I hope our listeners are enjoying that. We'll hopefully get some feedback.
Yes.
Exercise there, because it was amazing. It was not long, 6 minutes, which is, you know, not much time, but can really get you recentered. And I love that, and clear some of your systems so that you can make capacity for more things to happen and control things that are going on.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Ariane, once again, if people want to get a hold of you and ask questions, what's the best way for them to do that?
I'm active on Instagram. I'm also active on LinkedIn. You find me with Ariane Lalakea on all the platforms. I also have a website. It's arianelalakea.com. You can, I think, drop my link somewhere, and then you can reach out to me through any social media platform. Awesome. And ask questions and share with me how the embodied vision is going on for you. I always love to hear how it's landing in people. And thank you, Jeff and Jenna, for like going on this experiment together with me here. I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Yeah,
very invigorating.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it was wonderful. So for our listeners out there, again, thank you as always for your feedback and for your support. We appreciate that so much. Until the next time, stay safe and be healthy.